who in your mind, who's the starting other guard?
First of all, did you say Oubre Jr.? Come on, bro. It's Oubre Jr. Man, get it together. First of all, you got to get the names right.
Okay.
You get your names right for all these stats
Well,
you do?
first
You
of
can't
all,
get the names right?
You know, Anthony wants the big. Everyone's got the big three. Anthony wants like the big 10.
five would do. Just give me a starting five.
What do you think? Like,
Okay. All right. Stop the shenanigans.
all of a sudden.
Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the Matter of Stats podcast. Billy, Kobe, Anthony with you, as always. Fellas, what's up?
What's happening?
Good evening.
Oh, good evening. Good evening, everybody.
Wow.
Don Pardo, tell him what he's won.
I didn't want to go that high this time.
You got Anthony to say his own good evening. I like it.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, we just need Vanna.
Oh, God.
Give you
All
a
right.
wig and you're good.
All right. Enough shenanigans. Let's get started with our usual this week's sports headlines. Last week kicked off NBA free agency. The Lakers made a few moves. They signed 4 players so far: Lonnie Walker, Juan Toscano Anderson, Troy Brown Jr., and Damian Jones. We'll get into more details with that later. A couple NBA All-Stars were traded last week. Rudy Gobert was traded from the Utah Jazz to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and Spurs All-Star DeJounte Murray was traded to the Atlanta Hawks.
Murray.
Another All-Star, you may have heard of this guy, Kevin Durant, requested a trade from the Brooklyn Nets. Surprise, surprise.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him. I hear he's pretty good, though. In some college news, UCLA and USC are planning to leave the Pac-12 and join the Big Ten in 2024.
Garbage.
And in honor of 4th of July, Joey Chestnut ate 63 hot dogs in under 10 minutes to win his 15th 4th of July hot dog eating contest and his 7th in a row. And those are our headlines. Gentlemen, any comments?
Why was that a headline?
For me.
Just because it's fun, you know.
It was for
4th
me.
of July. Get a
No, it
little
was for me.
festive.
No, it was for me. And that's cool because, I know Anthony was, trying to probably take a dig at me, and that's cool. But do you think that Joey Chestnut can eat more Del Taco tacos than me? Because
No,
I once
I
ate
don't.
75 in one sitting. So.
I doubt that's true, but I was going to say, I'm sure Joey Chestnut wasn't eating the vegan hot dogs or whatever you claimed you were eating yesterday.
Are you talking? You're about soft tacos, or you're talking about the crunchy?
Yeah, it was, a little bit
Start
mixture of
shoving those
both.
crunchy down your throat. You're gonna get something caught. You start coughing.
Billy, it doesn't matter. He didn't eat no damn 75 tacos.
It would be a fun matchup, though. Tell Joey to hit my cell. We'll get it going. Maybe for one of the video pods or something.
Everybody wants to see that. You and Joey Chestnut go toe to toe in an eating competition.
I'll do a beer competition.
Yeah, that's true. That is.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. All right, well, let's roll into some Lakers stuff. So obviously, we talked a little bit about free agency and the players that the Lakers signed just last week when free agency got underway. So the Lakers opened up free agency with the 4 signings, like we mentioned, and it was pretty clear right out of the gate that it was a strategic effort by the front office to go younger, add wing depth, and get significantly more athletic than they were last year. We use the mid-level on Lonnie Walker, so he's a 6'4" athletic guard. He's got a lot of upside, 7-foot wingspan. Not a great shooter, but like I said, there's upside and athleticism there. Troy Brown Jr. is another. He's 6'6". He's an athletic 3-and-D wing. Toscano Anderson, also 6'6", versatile wing, can play both ends of the floor. And, Jones is a nice athletic big. He can rebound. He's a shot blocker. If you remember, he played 8 games with the Lakers during the 2021 season and averaged 7 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 block a game. What do you guys think of the free agency moves so far?
Kobe.
I know he used to let us know who was about to talk, but not no more. Huh? He just throws it out to us.
I mean, you got your big boys. Figure it out.
Yeah, I like Lonnie Walker. I'm seeing on IG that his nickname is Skywalker, and I like that. I saw him put up some nice high flying dunks, and like you said, he's a younger, athletic, wing. We talked about this a little bit last week about which route we wanted to go. Did we want to go younger and more athletic, or did we want to go with some slightly older guys that were a little bit more proven? And like I said, I don't know how LeBron is going to feel again about these younger guys. We put a post up on IG last week with our roster construction thus far, and a lot of those comments were like, that team ain't even getting to the play-in. So but as far as if we were in rebuild mode, I would say, yeah, I like those guys. Toscano Anderson, JTA, that's my boy, Mexican heritage. Shout out to the Mexicanos, So I like JTA too. Yeah, so I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll see how it develops. I don't know in a win now situation like we're in that really moves the needle, I guess, so to speak. So I mean, that's kind of where I sit with that. But time will tell. What do you think, Billy?
I mean, obviously, complete opposite of what we did last year.
Complete opposite.
Yeah.
Getting Bazemore, Ariza, Melo, and all these other guys.
I think we should have been somewhere in the middle,
35,
though.
37.
We should have been somewhere in the middle, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Anderson's probably the most, the most experienced, I guess you could say, or seasoned. Most playoff experience, being on the Warriors and stuff like that. So that will help. He can he's going to come off the bench. We all know that. So he can kind of maybe lead and guide whoever comes off the bench when we get to that point. So I like that move. He can play like a bench leadership role type of thing. But he's still young. He can still hang with these younger guys and stuff like that. I think it wouldn't be bad to get another, maybe more veteran, more seasoned guy in there. Kind of like, maybe not like a Dudley, but kind of like Kobe said, like kind of in the middle type of thing, to just have a little bit more experience come off the bench. Because I mean, obviously we're still evaluating what we have. As summer league goes along, and and things keep moving. I know, Rob. We're probably gonna get into it later with the whole Kyrie thing, but we have to see what we have and kind of go from there. LeBron may or may not be happy with it, but I don't think it's his say this time. I think the front office finally learned, and they're going to try to go. And, I think Darvin Ham's going to have a lot more say than what Vogel did when he was here. So I'm in favor with going younger and athletic. But I feel like we probably should sprinkle in maybe a middle of the pack type guy or two in there.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because we have 2 spots still open. So the Lakers could sign 2 more players.
Guys are going quick.
Yes, yeah. Most of the guys that you're mentioning, Billy, are gone. Now it's kind of like the younger upside guys or the older, like DeMarcus Cousins guys that are, on the other side of the quote unquote hill, right? But it's interesting. You guys both said 2 things that jumped out at me. Yeah, Kobe, you said you don't know if LeBron's going to be in favor of the young guys. I mean, he should be, because all these guys are clutch guys. So that's not a coincidence, right? 3 of the 4 guys are clutch guys. That's
sure
not
he helped sign them too. So.
I'm just saying it's not accident. And you, Billy, said it was a complete opposite of last year. Other than DeAndre Jordan, which I still can't understand how he got signed again, nobody that we had on the bench everybody we signed last year is unsigned right now. All of them.
Who signed Jordan? I didn't see that one.
Denver, I believe.
Really? Okay.
I think it was Denver that signed him as a backup big. But it's just funny you said that, Billy, because Bazemore, Melo, Ellington, none of these guys have been picked up.
Wasn't Melo on a 2-year or no?
No.
Okay.
No, they were all vet men's.
Okay.
But you're right, Billy, because there's a lot of talk, Kobe, you said about the comments, and you were pretty high on Lonnie Walker. I like Lonnie Walker too, but there's a lot of debate on was that the best way to use the mid-level? Because you look at Otto Porter Jr., who got the same money to go to Toronto. You look at TJ Warren earlier, who signed a vet min to go to the Nets. So you look at DiVincenzo, who also took a mid-level to go to the Warriors. So there's some people that were like, Lonnie Walker, very good, very exciting, very athletic, tons of upside. But like you said, Billy, not as quite proven as those guys, doesn't shoot the three as well. That's still a deficiency on this team. You look at, yes, they checked the boxes. They had to, right? We had to get wings. We had to get younger. We had to get more athletic. They checked all those boxes. But none of these guys light it up from downtown. None of these guys are trustworthy enough.
There's still guys out there, right, that we can fill these spots with like some 3-point shooting.
Yes, yeah, we
they're older,
put
but
some stuff out earlier today. They're still and not old guys, but there are.
But we don't need them to be athletic. We're getting them for a reason.
I mean, you have Austin Rivers as a guy, a combo guard that could shoot the three.
I would like Rivers. I do.
Ben McLemore. Remember, we had McLemore a couple seasons ago. He could shoot the three.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's still some guys out there that can shoot the three, and there's still some younger guys. Over the weekend, the Nets had waived this kid, Kessler Edwards, who's a young, I think he's like a 6'8" small forward, but he can shoot the three. So there's still options out there to find 3-point shooting. But, the Lakers expressed on free agency night, I think Rob was semi-quoted as saying that the goal is to find shooting via trade. So there's definitely, some direct intention to, we wanted to get these guys for a reason, and there's got to be some plan, if you will, in place to get some shooting, because it's clear, like you said, was it you, Kobe, that said that some people were saying this might not even be a 6 seed right now, this roster? And I think that's fair.
There's people that are saying like, is that team even going to make the play-in?
Well, I think that's fair, because you look at the athleticism and the star power and the youth. Those three things are present, but we don't know if any of these guys can really shoot. We don't know how they can defend, and obviously we don't know if Russ is going to be any better than he was last year. But that sort of, feeds into obviously the other, elephant in the room, if you will, the Kyrie Irving saga, which has sort of become a soap opera the last 2 weeks here of, was he going to opt in? Was he not going to opt in? Was he going to force a sign-in trade? Was he going to stay? Then, KD forces the trade, and now Kyrie telling people that he wants to go only to the Lakers, and maybe he'll even sit out the season. And there's so much drama, and everyone's trying to create, leverage. But my best guess is that the most likely trade scenario, if we were to get him, would probably involve Russ, THT, and Kendrick Nunn, possibly even a third team if the Nets aren't willing to take Russ. And we'd probably get Kyrie and some salary dumps, Harris, Seth Curry, maybe Buddy Hield if the Pacers got involved. I don't know. I don't buy all the rumors about, I don't think Dallas or Philly really have any interest in Kyrie. I think those are all just leverage plays from people that, in the media that are being told by this side or that side to put things out.
Dallas doesn't really have anything to give.
No, they have salaries. I don't think the Nets want salaries. I think they want young players, picks, and salary dumps.
Yeah, we can only go so far with picks. They're going to
So my question for you guys on the Kyrie front, knowing that obviously we still need shooting, and like Billy just said, most of the guys that we would love to have are gone now. What do you guys really think's going to happen with this Kyrie trade? Does it hinge on Kevin Durant getting traded first or even at all?
Well,
Kobe?
Okay. All right. Well, first I want to revisit something that you said about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
We said that LeBron is not really a fan of the younger guys. Well, I said that a couple
You said
times.
that, right.
Yeah. And that's known, right? That's been known throughout his career.
It's not really a secret. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really a secret. And then you just said that Clutch has 3 of those 4 guys that we signed, basically, right?
Right.
So my question now, just real quick to you is, so then what does that mean? If Clutch and Rich Paul are bringing guys here that clearly LeBron is not in favor of as far as liking younger players, to win championships. What's happening here? Are they trying to make money as an organization, Clutch, or are they trying to win games?
Real quick, Anthony, before you answer,
Yeah.
I'm gonna answer that question with a question. Sorry, but
Okay.
don't you guys think that this goes to both of you? Don't you guys think that LeBron has helped scout these guys and already signed off on them?
Well, and that's what I'm wondering. So Anthony, I'm asking you because I want to know if LeBron is historically not been in favor of playing with younger players, why then is Clutch bringing all these young players to LA? And if that's the case, then are we trying to make money or are we trying to win championships?
Well, I think this is kind of layered in my opinion, because I think you have to start with what is LeBron's long-term future with the Lakers, because he still hasn't signed this extension. He can't sign it till August, but he can sign it. And there's a lot of speculation prior to free agency and the draft that he wasn't going to sign it until he saw how free agency went. Now, you could take that a lot of different ways, right?
Yeah.
Is he happy because we signed 3 Clutch guys? Or is he not happy because, like you said, we signed a bunch of young upside guys, but we didn't get an Otto Porter or a TJ Warren or even like a Bruce Brown who got a mid-level, who showed some flashes last year for Brooklyn that maybe might have been better fits because they're better shooters. And LeBron's obviously always excelled with shooters around him, and we haven't been able to do that. So I think it's interesting because what does that mean, right? You're asking me, and I wish I had the holy grail answer, but
I thought you did.
Well, do you think? Okay, hold on.
I mean, LeBron and I don't really talk that much anymore, but
do you think in the back of his mind he's like, okay, I've scouted these guys, I've seen them play and do this and that. Do you think he's looking at, these guys maybe could be part of the Lakers' future? Maybe this is starting of a rebuild, but not.
But that's what's interesting.
Showing your cards type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but see, that's what's interesting, Billy, because Kobe said it a few minutes ago. The free agent moves don't really align with the rest of the roster, because you got to put guys around like with LeBron. You're either all in with LeBron or you're not, right? Yeah. So you got to put guys around him to win right now. And this feels more like
which would be this year,
2 year. But the guys that we brought in via free agency, like Kobe said, feels more like a retooling for the future. So you think not putting guys around LeBron to win tomorrow.
So do you think this is a sign of, hey, I'm going to sign that extension?
I think when you say scout, I don't think LeBron scouts these guys. Obviously, LeBron knows who they are.
Video.
I'm sure. Well, he's played against
Paul
them.
Goes to him and
he's played against it. Billy's been in the league 20 years. Played against all these guys, so he knows who they are. My point is, Rob, in the front office, you don't sign 3 Clutch guys purely by coincidence. There's no way, especially like Troy Brown, right? I can't imagine there were a million people knocking on Troy Brown's door.
So do you think he signed off and said, look, he's probably going to sign the extension, and he signs off on these guys and said, look, I think I can work with these guys and do something? That's what I'm getting at.
Well, yeah. I think so. I think he signed off to some extent. I think it hinges on Kyrie too, right? I think that this is all because Broussard said something earlier, Kobe, that I thought was interesting when I was watching this morning.
Frustrating.
He said that he said, just no speculation, just his guess. He's wondering, are Lakers signed off on Kyrie or just LeBron? Like, in his opinion, it feels more like LeBron wants Kyrie, but the Lakers maybe don't necessarily want Kyrie.
Okay,
I think that's fair.
And let me just say this. Like, it's funny you say that, because just a second ago we're talking, okay, Clutch guys are going to LA. 3 of the 4 that we brought in free agency are coming to LA, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But at the trade deadline, Rob Pelinka apparently didn't want nothing to do with what LeBron and AD wanted. It's like kind of like this up and down. Like, sometimes we're with LeBron and AD and Clutch, and sometimes we're not. And
yes,
it's like are we even on the same page? Like, what's happening here?
Well, that's why I thought Broussard's comment was interesting, because it's a fair point.
What did Broussard say, by the way?
That's what he said. He just said that he wonders if the Lakers really want Kyrie or LeBron really wants Kyrie.
Okay, and that's a perfect segue into what we're about to talk about, which is, what you led us into with the Kyrie thing.
To answer the question, I honestly don't think Kyrie even plays a game this year.
For anybody?
For anybody.
Oh, that's a bold hot take.
That's a hot take.
Just because of the fact, nobody knows what's going on in his head, and New Jersey holds all the cards. They do not have to trade him.
God!
Do the Nets hold all the cards?
They don't have to do anything.
Just
as Durant, they don't have to do anything for Durant. They're going to get what they want. They're not going to be like, oh, we'll just take this and that and let him go. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, but Billy, it's a fair point to say that there's no market for Russell Westbrook. But it's an equally fair point to say there's no market for Kyrie Irving either. Both of these guys right now are not wanted.
Is going to hold him. They are going to be stubborn. They're going to get what they want.
New Jersey, it's Brooklyn.
Yes. If he goes to New Jersey, we got problems.
Or Brooklyn. Sorry.
Okay.
Brooklyn.
All right.
Hold on a second. I know where you're going to go with the comment. Well, but before we do, just answer the question quickly. Do we get Kyrie or not? What do you think happens? Yes or no?
Who?
Do we facilitate, and does this deal for Kyrie actually happen before the season starts?
Who are you asking, me or Billy, or both?
Both of you. Either one of you. Go first.
Go ahead, Billy.
Care.
Yes or no question, straight up?
Yeah. Is he going to be a Laker on opening night? Yes or no?
No.
How about at all this season?
No.
Kobe?
I say yes.
Opening night or at all this season? You say opening night? Yeah, I agree. I think it has to happen. I think it will happen. I think at some point someone's going to blink, and it's either going to be we're going to give in and give up 2 picks instead of 1, or they're going to fold and we're going to get Curry instead of Harris or whatever. There's going to be some compromise made, and it might even be the third trade. It might even be after, because I do think it all hinges on KD. I don't think they're going to move Kyrie unless they know what kind of pieces they're getting back from KD.
I would love to have Kyrie, but I just don't see it happening. And you guys want to throw a 12-pack on it?
The skip of the Matter of Stats podcast over here is a 12-pack of the Diet Mountain Dew. Man.
Careful, we're gonna sick Shannon Sharp and his 34-inch biceps on you.
Oh man. Okay, hold on.
Okay. I know where you're going. Go ahead.
Everybody relax, please. Everyone take a deep breath.
All
right. Everyone calm and relax now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You don't start talking. I'm not.
Okay, hold on. Everything that we just did right now in the past 5 minutes is literally what the NBA world has been living in the past week, where we are all living in Kyrie Irving's head. None of us know what the hell is going on.
Or he's living in our head.
Right. He's living in our head. We're living in his head. The whole thing is a mess. It's crazy, and it's crazy because we as fans, we in the NBA world, we're all everyone's all over the place. None of us know what the hell is happening. Is he staying? Is he going? Is he going to sit the season out? KD requests a trade after Kyrie opts in, and now Kendrick Perkins this morning is saying KD never wanted to be traded to begin with. It was all a plan to get Kyrie leverage, something similar that we threw up, which was maybe they hatched this plan together,
Yeah. It's interesting.
The Nets are literally a mess.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, what did we expect? What did we expect? You have a guy in KD who, is a tad bit sensitive. He has some, might have a burner account here and there, who's not afraid to go after a couple trolls on Twitter. And then you got Kyrie, who is Kyrie. No explanation needed. Yeah, right?
Yep. The earth is flat.
Earth is flat.
Yep.
Me personally, I'm not going to lie. I kind of thought it would work, especially when they got Harden. Me and Billy were telling Anthony, we're like, yeah, that's going to work. And they played decent. They played decent for a second. And Anthony was starting to backtrack a little bit, but then it all kind of fell apart. So ultimately, it turned out to be exactly what we all should have expected.
You think COVID ruined a lot of that? Like as far as him not wanting,
But that's the thing. That's the thing, though.
or you
Like,
think what?
like
you
COVID
think
or not,
injuries?
COVID or not, it would
No.
have been something.
No,
Something
it would
would
have
have
been.
happened,
Well,
and Kyrie would have found some reason or excuse. So I think this was doomed to be, from the start to begin with.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. But now, Anthony, I know you're all gung ho about Kyrie, and you want him bad.
Well,
you want Kyrie bad, but I don't know.
I don't think the way the team is currently constructed today can win a championship. We need more shooting. We need a better offensive weapon. And Kyrie wouldn't be my first choice, but he checks the boxes.
Okay. And usually, let me just say this, usually players lose their marbles and play their worst under the bright lights of Los Angeles. Would you guys not agree? Would you guys both not agree that? Sometimes.
Yeah, well,
That's
most
what
of
I
the
was
time.
just.
A lot of the time.
stars, but not necessarily. We've had good success with stars coming.
I was gonna bring that up because a lot of the shooters that we picked up had great shooting percentages, and then when they come here, their percentages.
Yeah,
just
that's
drop.
why I'm a little more optimistic
they
with
take a
these
big hit.
cats because they didn't shoot the 3-ball very well last year, so they can only go up.
There's the upside.
Okay. Right. Here's an interesting take that I heard this morning
Okay.
on first things first. And Anthony,
Okay.
I know you're gonna like this. I know you're gonna appreciate this. You probably heard this take already. So
Yeah, that's fine. Let's get into it because we do want to talk about the genie thing. So let's get into this. Let's knock this out.
an interesting take that I heard this morning from Nick Wright, your boy Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
He was questioning whether Phil Jackson, of all people, would be lobbying for adding a guy like Kyrie.
I saw this. Yeah.
Right.
I saw it. Yeah.
Phil Jackson, one of the greatest coaches in all of sports history, signing off to bring on an erratic player like Kyrie, right?
Right.
And then Wild's response was even more interesting, which was, I don't know, Kyrie burning sage before the game in Boston is like right up the Zen master Phil Jackson's alley.
Well, there's two things there. One, Phil's not coaching the team, obviously, and
Well,
two,
we know that, of course.
and two, Phil has dealt with erratic personalities before, right? Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
Pippen, a bit of a prima donna. Rodman, I mean, Rodman, makes Kyrie look tame.
No, I know. So, I mean, you can argue both sides. I mean, Nick Wright brings up good points, but so does Wilds. Phil Jackson, we know, obviously, is probably in the ear of Jeannie Buss. So, is he lobbying for Kyrie or not?
Well, that is interesting, and it leads us into Jeannie Buss and her infamous now tweet that came out late. I think it was Sunday night? Was it late Sunday night? I think 11 o'clock p.m.
Yeah,
11 o'clock p.m. on Sunday.
Yeah, July 3rd. Yep.
And there's all kinds of speculation today about what that means, right? There's 7,000 different meanings about, was she talking about Russ? Was she talking about LeBron? Was she talking to Kyrie? Was she just venting about the roster and NBA in general? Who knows, right?
Yeah.
But it's interesting because it all, like, everybody has a take on KD and Kyrie and what's going to happen and they all seem plausible, right? They all seem like if any one of them happened, nobody would be like, wow, I can't believe it. Like any one of them, like Perkins, like you just said, KD, like that's crazy, but it seems plausible. We know what we're dealing with.
Yeah, I know.
That's what's so crazy about it is everyone's got a take and an opinion, and that's all over the map.
That's why 5 minutes ago when you guys were going nuts on the pod, I'm like, you guys could both be right. Like, who the hell knows? Like, we're all like mixed into Kyrie's head right now.
It's crazy.
We're all living the flat earth lifestyle right now, man.
Well, and players control so much narrative in the NBA. That's what makes it move, right?
Yeah.
So let's remind the listeners what the tweet was.
Yes, go ahead, Billy.
No, you I don't have it in front of me.
No, well, it doesn't matter. We don't have to get super into it. I just wanted to get your guys' comments on what you thought the purpose of it was. Not even necessarily what it was about, but what do you think the purpose of it was. Because see,
Well,
I'm
I
always
forgot what it was, so now you need to tell me.
Okay,
well,
I'll read it.
I was
I'll
trying
okay,
to go
hang on a
around
second.
it.
Okay,
I
while
got
you,
it.
hold
I
on.
got
While
it.
you get it ready, let me just make this one point.
I was trying to-
I'm always of the belief that I don't think coaches and owners and GMs and stuff should be tweeting anything ever. I just don't think it ever looks good.
I was trying not to throw myself under the bus, but yeah.
Unless you're tweeting unless you're tweeting something like congratulations, welcome to the team, or something like that, right? I think it generally never looks good when an owner or GM tweets something because it always backfires, right? A la Daryl Morey.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
I mean, it's the world we live in now, and
Yeah, so I always think it's generally a good idea, even if it's innocent. And it could have been innocent. It could have literally been she was sitting there with a glass of wine, day before a holiday, and she was just reminiscing and be like, man, I just miss Kobe. I just all this craziness in the world and sports and athletes and everything. I just miss.
Okay.
It could have been super innocent.
Let me go ahead and read it because I have it right in front of me here.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so Jeannie Buss tweeted on July 3rd at 11:11. Make a wish.
Which is kind of interesting, right? 11:11.
Right. It says, "I miss KB. He would understand and explain everything that I'm not allowed to. Honestly, he was the greatest Laker ever. He understood team over self, meaning your rewards would come if you valued team goals over your own, then everything would fall into place. All can reply."
Yeah. Now, because of that, a lot of people were thinking, was she taking a shot at LeBron? Was she taking a shot at Russ? Was she taking a shot at Kyrie? My favorite, though, was, how do you know she wasn't talking about Kwame Brown?
I don't think she's taking a shot at any of those guys. I think she just missed. She was sitting there thinking, like you said, she might have been, just in her thoughts and said, you know what? I miss someone who's so blunt and outspoken. Like, he never cared what anyone else said. If he said it, whatever he said, right? So he was always blunt and like straight to the point, but he was so smart about it. And she misses that. Like, he probably gave her advice that we don't even know about.
Oh, they were very close. Yeah.
I don't think it's a shot at anybody, to be honest with you. I just think it's just she wish she was here to like kind of guide her in a way, or like maybe she had some questions for him that she knew he would be the one that could give her the answer and be straightforward about it.
Yeah. And now, Billy, you're right. For the record, I don't think she was taking a shot at anybody either, but that's my point. That's why I think any time an owner or whatever tweets something, it generally doesn't end well because it gets misinterpreted. Right? Well, it gets misinterpreted.
Exactly.
That's why it's like, I don't really care what the meaning of it was. I just wonder, like, why do it? Like, what was the point to even doing it, regardless of what it meant?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the whole part about her saying, like, he'd be able to say things that I am not able to, like,
not allowed to.
Not allowed to. Yeah, like that
Yeah.
almost kind of get like, we got to bring Adam Silver in here. What are we tampering? What's happening here?
No, it just means she's got thoughts in her head that if she were to say them out loud, there would be maybe consequences, or
yeah, like Kobe had a way of articulating things
exactly
in a certain way.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Anthony, I know you had tweeted that to us on 4th of July morning at like 4 a.m. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
It was like 4 in the morning, and
I figured you were just getting ready to go to bed. So
no, I was like, I was like 3 hours into my slumber, but my immediate initial thoughts were it was either about Russ or it was about Kyrie, because it could honestly fit either one, in my opinion, as
Right.
far as what she was saying about team over self, either Russ or Kyrie. But I will probably lean more towards Kyrie. And I told you guys that I would lean more towards Kyrie because, unlike LeBron, I don't think Jeannie likes to passively aggressively throw shade at her own teammates. That's just me, though.
right, and I don't think Jeannie has any like real ill will towards LeBron.
No.
Either.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think so either. But again, so to me, I just think it's more kind of hinting at Kyrie.
Mm-hmm.
Like more like, are you picking up what I'm putting down here? Like, if you're gonna come here, you're gonna be a part of our squad. It's team over self.
Yeah.
So,
No,
I mean,
and I think you might be right. It could just be very simply like,
that's not a bad point, Kobe.
I'm not in love with you like LeBron and AD. Like they want you. I'm not sold. If you come here, you better show me.
Yeah, you come to work every day.
Yeah, and the narrative about Russ last year was the whole like he was not able to put the team over his stats and his triple doubles and his from the optics from what we all saw.
Right.
So we kind of thought I personally kind of thought maybe that could be what she was directing it towards. But again, like I said,
Could be.
I don't really feel like it's towards anybody on the Lakers right now. I think maybe it was more of
I agree. Yeah.
More of a hint towards Kyrie. Like, if you're going to join us, if you're going to be part of this team, it's team over self,
Yeah.
So just
I agree. And they're, like I said, they're all fair points. And that's why, when you throw something out there, it's going to get misinterpreted and interpreted ways you didn't intend it to. And 14 different people are going to have 14 different reactions. And it's just, that's the world we live in, like Billy said.
Yeah.
All right. Before we get out of here, I just want to touch quickly because the Lakers, did start Summer League over the weekend with the California Classic. They actually played 3 games, including today. Looked pretty good. Won the first 2, lost today to the Kings. But just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on some of the young guys because the Lakers have 3 rookies that are on the Summer League roster that have looked pretty good. Christie, Max Christie, Scottie Pippen Jr., and Cole Swider. Particularly Pippen and Swider have looked, really good in these first few games. I think with Christie, we can see there's a lot of athleticism and length on defense. The offense isn't there yet, but that'll come. He's only 19. But your boy Pippen has looked really good, especially in the first 2 games. Looks like he definitely knows how to score. I think he's a little better. I think he's a little better passer than at least I thought.
Oh yeah.
And Swider looks like as advertised, right? Long, got the range, pretty pure shot. Looks like he can be a legitimate 3-point shooter. And I think the Lakers feel that way because yesterday they extended his 2-way contract to an extra year, which is, pretty interesting considering he played 2 games. So they obviously like something too. I could see all 3 of these guys making their way to the 15-man roster at some point this season. But I know it's a small sample size, but just what have you seen from those guys, particularly Pippen and Swider, that you like? Because I know we talked about it over the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, is it as advertised, or is he, like Trevor Lane said, the amazing Swider man?
I know. I love the nickname, the Swider man. That's pretty clever. Pretty clever.
The amazing Swider man.
I know. I saw that. It's good.
Good. No, they've looked good. I caught that first game all the way through. I liked what I saw from not only Cole Swider, but also from Scottie Pippen Jr. for sure. He looks like he plays with so much confidence. He's got swag, everyone knows I like the swag, and that little comment that he made about Scottie Pippen, but before even playing a game with the Lakers in Summer League was, he's always making up, fake injuries and this and that. I loved it. Yeah. Absolutely loved it. He's the kind of guy that is ready to work. He's not, messing around. He's just been a great addition to that Summer League team. Cole Swider, 41%, I think it was last season in college, 38% shooter, over his college career. I know, Anthony, I know you're loving Cole Swider.
Well, I just love the fact that this team needs shooting. The Lakers were very high on him before the draft. He was the only guy that they worked out twice. I think kudos to, the front office and our scouting department for being able to know that they could not have to use the pick on him and sign him after the draft. Mm-hmm. And I think, like I said, that's why I said as advertised, they thought that they thought he was one of the best shooters in the draft. And he looks like he's got a really clean release. Obviously his height gives him some value because, he can get his shot off over most players, especially if he's going to play like a 3 or a 4 in today's NBA. But his shot just looks clean, and he looks like he could be a Kyle Korver type shooter, right? Not going to be like an elite scorer, but a guy that can play in stretches and knock down shots when you need 3-point shooting. And I like Pippen too. I thought that was another excellent move, and I was impressed. I knew he could score. He scored at Vanderbilt, but his passing is what impressed me most in the first 2 games.
And I've told you guys several times, like the no look is one of the most underrated plays in basketball, because a no look pass, especially nowadays when you got snipers all around the 3-point line, that extra 1 or 1.5 seconds or whatever it is so crucial. And we've already seen a ton of highlights from Pippen Jr. where he is just like literally like just for a split second gets a guy wide open because of a no look pass. And that's going to be key. And he plays out there with so much confidence and so much poise.
He's a little more seasoned, and he's going to be a little more smart with the basketball. So
yeah,
I haven't got to watch a lot of watch a lot of their summer league games, but the highlights I've seen and stuff and the passes that he's doing, really good. And it's just smart passes. I mean, he knows where people are, and he's getting them the ball in the spots that they like. And, I like it. And you guys see that block by Swider today?
Yeah, that was nice. Got beat off the dribble and recovered and blocked the shot.
Yeah, he's even up there playing some D and, the transition and Pippen running the ball in transition. I mean, they look good. I mean, those two are probably the top 2, that I've seen as far as highlights go that look really good. I mean, Sharif is in there. He's not doing a whole lot, but he's still young too. And
and when we started 2-0, I was like, just put this team in. We're going to win the championship with this team right here. who needs the old school veterans of 2021,
right.
but no, it's funny, Anthony, because again, I know you're real high on Swider, 41% for 3, he spaces the floor well, he's 6'9", get some block shots, but I'm looking at a player here too. Here, let me see. Last season in the G League, just a random player I was checking out, 62% from the field, led his team actually. He went 15 of 28 from the 3-point line in just 8 games, small sample size, but still 8 games, shot 54% from the 3-point line.
What, do you guys think these guys have a chance to make the 15, or do you guys
hold on, Billy, hold on. Anthony, who am I talking about?
I don't know, but just to touch on Billy really quick before you, because I know he's going to be like somebody terrible, so you could just be like, see, but the summer league doesn't, the old line on the summer league is always, it doesn't necessarily prove that you can play in the NBA, but it proves that you can't play in the NBA.
Well, obviously they'll go to practice, and when they start facing like LeBron and those guys, they'll be a different.
And we talked about that a little bit too. And Anthony, like that's what I'm saying about that first game when you were like, oh, Mac McClung, I don't know about Mac McClung, he sucks, and I'm like, well, hold on, Mac McClung was the G League Rookie of the Year last year.
I know,
and he comes out in game 1 of Summer League or the California Classic, whatever you want to call it, and everybody's bringing their A-game defense. Of course, like he's going to get swarmed, and guess what? He still had 17 points. He still led the South Bay Lakers or whatever team, in points. So think about that. I get it that it's going to be a little challenging sometimes for players to be able to score, because some of these rookies are coming in with their best defense that they can possibly bring.
Yeah. Well, but it's also what you bring to the table. Like, I don't think Mac's game is bad. I just think because he's a tad bit undersized and not a great shooter, it's a difficult combination. Like, right. Swider's not going to be electric out there. He's not going to be great defensively, but because he comes with an elite skill of being able to shoot the 3, that's going to be beneficial to him at some point. And same thing with Pippen, because Pippen is able to score and create his own shot. That is going to be beneficial to him.
These guys are going at it in training camp. That's for sure. If these guys make the training camp, they're going to be going at it, and it's going to be a fight roster spot.
I could see your boy Pippen in the scrimmages talking trash to LeBron.
I could too, and I would love it. I could see him be like, You know, my daddy played with you, man. What are you gonna do out here? Nothing. I can hear it.
I can hear him like, I ain't soft like my daddy. I'm gonna take it to you.
Oh man.
I can see LeBron maybe dunking on him and be like, "Yeah, your daddy remembers that."
Okay, so I want to know, a la Hoop Collective trivia question.
Okay.
This player led their team last season in the G League in field goal percentage at 62% and shot 54% from three. Which player was it?
I have no idea. Bass.
I'm gonna say McClung just because Kobe likes him.
LiAngelo Ball.
Oh, jeez.
Here we go.
Wah, wah, wah.
No, I
mean, and here's the funny thing. Let me just make this one point here. You know, and
Billy, we should have known.
Yeah, you guys should have known.
We should have known the whole thing was a setup.
It was a setup. You guys never saw it coming. But let me give you some context here, because a similar player on that same team from the Greensboro Swarm in Charlotte, Vernon Carey Jr. I swear, I got that guy's cards. I feel like I've seen his cards before. Yeah. He also only played 8 games last season for the Swarm. He started 7 of them. He started 7 of those 8 games, shot 47%, nothing close to LiAngelo's 62%. Mm-hmm. He shot 47% from the field and only went 3 of 14 from 3, which is 21%. And that guy was drafted in 2020 by the Charlotte Hornets in the second round with the 32nd pick. So
I'm not a huge
okay,
fan.
Look, we know where you're going with this, but we don't care.
I'm not a huge fan of all the Ball brothers thing, but I honestly, I would like to see LiAngelo in the NBA just get a shot. I want to see what he's got in the NBA. I want to see what he can do. To be honest with you, I'm not joking. It's not a shot at anybody. I want to see what he can do in the NBA. He's done great in the summer league. And I want to see a team give him a shot. I want to see what happens.
This is Kobe's public service announcement for LiAngelo Ball.
Anthony, get on the phone with Rob. Let him know we got 14 and 15 spot open.
No, we're good.
we like the young guys. Let's see.
Hey,
Lonzo's on clutch. Lonzo's on clutch. Let's get LiAngelo on clutch.
I never said I wanted him on the Lakers. I just said I'd like it.
Yeah, like he'd look great in Detroit or something. Knock yourself out.
Oh my God.
Kobe's next DFG team, whatever.
I know, right? I told you the Pistons are going to be on his list. You watch.
Yep.
You watch.
All right, fellas.
All right. Well, I think that wraps up another edition of the Matter of Stats podcast. As always, we thank you guys for listening. Please look for us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast. Give us that 5-star rating. We appreciate it. And we'll see you guys back here next week.
And we thank you so much for the IG love lately. Let's go.
Yes, keep checking us out. We love it.
We got something for you next week. Have a good night.
Peace.